if I am actually live. I'm having a. Okay, it says I'm on in a stream right now. Okay, good. Yay. All right. Well, what we're going to do here then is give me just a minute and I will be right back. Okay, finally. I've been getting very confused about the how to go live on YouTube. I thought it would be simple. It used to be, but now it seems like it's a lot more difficult. So there is that. All right, I'm trying to. I don't know what my title is on this. Okay, that's good enough. You don't get much of a selection on TikTok, and I don't really care. All right, looks like I am live. Anyway, so of course there is another police brutality case of a autistic man that was murdered by the police. And so I want to talk about that a little bit today. And I want to talk about the history of this. I was a corrections officer for 15 years. So I've got a little bit of background on that.
I got help to push back.
We got help.
A Miami police officer facing attempted manslaughter charges tonight.
Yeah, the charges against Officer Jonathan.
This is very unusual for them to actually charge an officer with anything. Usually they're just going to try to cover up for him.
Aletta come nearly 9 months after he shot the unarmed caretaker of an autistic man. Charles Kinsey was trying to help.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. This guy, notice the man is black.
An adult patient returned to a group home at the time.
And this guy's laying on the floor, on the ground there in the middle of the street with his arms in the air saying, look, I'm this guy's counselor. He's autistic. This is the guy who's laying down with his hands in the air, not moving. And the cops shoot him. They just randomly shoot him. They damn near killed him. And he wasn't even the autistic guy. The autistic guy sitting there looking around having.
Well, police thought that Kinsey's patient was holding a gun and surrounded the pair. It turned out to be a toy truck. Despite Kinsey laying on the ground with his arms in the air, the officer opened fire, wounding Kinsey in the leg.
He was just talking to him, and the officer just. And the thing is that cop, I'm sure you got away with it.
The officer has denied any wrongdoing.
Well, that shoot
denied any wrongdoing. The guy sitting there explaining to him. I've seen that film, and he was literally saying, "I'm this guy's counselor. Everything's okay. Just let me take care of this." And then the cop shoots him.
Shooting raised many questions about the interaction between police and people with autism.
And now there is a big push to raise awareness.
And this guy wasn't autistic. He was the counselor. He was the caretaker.
Within the law enforcement society, Zachary Keish takes a look at how one celebrity family is handling those concerns.
I think many parents of children with autism, young adults with autism, worry that when their kids go out there, that they will come across law enforcement and there will be some kind of misinterpretation or some kind of misunderstanding because our kids are different. Our kids are quirky. Our kids sometimes have tics and move differently.
The video that came out of Miami on July 18th played.
We know. This is the fact. If you call the police to your house and there is an autistic person there, you have signed their death sentence. It's as good as much as just getting a gun and shooting at them. The likelihood for them to be unlifed, almost certainly assaulted by the police that's almost 100% of just being assaulted by the police. Unlifed, they're definitely at a much higher percent. The most dangerous person you can be in the United States is a black autistic man, probably in his 20s or younger, in the teens, that age group, because police shoot them more than any other demographic. Period. End of story. And So the propensity is, of course, very much higher if one is minority, but it is also, I know, what, 3 times higher. You're 3 times more likely to be shot and killed by a police officer if you are autistic. Period. That doesn't include being a black man or of that specific age group where they really like to kill black men.
Played out like a nightmare for parents of autistic children. Police responded to a 911 call. Misinformed and seemingly unwilling to listen, communication is broken and a life hangs in the balance. In this case, the caretaker of an autistic man was shot.
I was really more worried about him than myself, because I'm looking at, as long as I got my hands up, they're not going to shoot me.
Actress Holly Robinson Peete and her husband, former NFL player Rodney, had been brutal.
He was totally casual. He's like, okay, guys, he's got his hands out there. You could see him laying there. He's just telling them what's going on. And the cop just randomly just starts shooting him. Unbelievable.
Brutally honest about the challenges.
I mean, it's not even believable. Even if you see it, you're still like, what the hell?
Of raising a young child of their own on the spectrum, specifically as it relates to police. This is a clip from their show For Pete's Sake on the O Network.
What would happen if the cops
specifically as it relates to police?
Put your hands up, freeze. What would you do?
I have to do everything. I say yes, sir, no, sir.
I just felt it was very important to explain to RJ. I keep it very real with my kids about what the community offers them when they go out. I want my kids to revere and respect policemen, but I also want law enforcement to understand what autism is, and I think they need just a little bit of training to know what it looks like in the community.
No, this is a neurotypical person. Because that person's an authority figure, she thinks they should be respected. Nope. Because someone has a badge does not mean they need to be respected. Nope. It comes down to what Martin Luther King said, the content of one's character. That is it. But that's one of the problems with this demographic of disparity between power differentials in society.
In our area, there are examples.
Look at this. So here the police has the puzzle pieces all over. So this already tells us that they're completely out of touch with the autistic community because they got the puzzle pieces there. And a blue puzzle piece there, which is almost specifically Autism Speaks. And these guys are proud of what they're doing. Oh, and the chief's all like, yeah, we look so good and everything. And they look like asses.
Of collaborative efforts between the community and police that are working. Westchester County was one of the first counties to tackle autism as a standalone training.
And those have been found to cause more harm than good. The problem is what they've found is that the police officers get an hour training or something, and then now they're experts, and they know all about how to handle those autistics. And they can tell because they went to that class and they were told what an autistic looks like. So they're gonna get them autistics. They look kind of crazy too. Yeah, they look like drug addicts because they all are drug addicts. Yeah, no, and that's the attitude they have. I was a peace officer for 15 years. They are taught that if anyone looks odd or different, they are a drug crazed maniac that wants to unlife cops. And you can see like a kid have a hot dog in their hand, and they don't even have to have anything in their hand. They will shoot children, and I have video after video of them shooting children. Real life video, right here.
Because there are challenges for police.
How to engage, what to say, what not to say, how to not take it personally. How to think what you're saying may be logical, but it may not be coming across as logical to that young person who has autism. Why aren't they looking at me? With autism, that challenge is unique in that each situation is different.
If there's anything positive that comes from situations like this, is that they raise awareness. It will force police departments to confront issues like autism. Reporting here in the newsroom, I'm Zachary Keish, Fox 5 News.
And as they are, there's this
I lost someone, and then things changed.
good. And it's because of the ignorance that's going on. So here's this new story. This sheriff. This is just brand new story of forget this kid's name, but the last autistic man to be unlifed. And what do you know? He's not white. He's not white.
Shot and killed a teenage boy over the weekend. Sheriff's deputies were called to a home on Saturday where a family had phoned authorities about 15-year-old Ryan Gaynor, who was...
Okay, and see, this is a problem. If you call the cops concerning your autistic family member, expect them to be shot dead. That's the only reason that you would call the police, is you expect those police to show up and take care of that autistic person because you are tired of dealing with them. And they will take care of them forever.
Was attacked.
It should be expected. If you think anything else, you are sorely mistaken, and this could happen to you.
Members of the household, the family's attorney...
He's got some kind of stick or whatever, and they knew he was autistic. Now, this guy who's got body armor on, you think he couldn't take one hit from this stick or whatever, or just deal with this kid without having his weapon out? I mean, at the most, he could have tased him. But hell no. He's got a deadly weapon. This is a 15-year-old boy with autism.
He says authorities were aware the teen had autism.
See?
When sheriff's deputies showed up, they say the boy attacked them with a 5-foot-long gardening tool. Deputies opened fire on that teen. And
see, was it really necessary? You know what? That family has lived with that kid for 15 years, and they never had to murder him. Not once. In 15 years, they never had to murder that kid. But the police show up for a few seconds, and he's dead.
Killed him.
Plenty of times to off-ramp Ryan and get him the health care and mental health care that he needed. And in my opinion...
we're going to blame it on the family. We're not going to blame it on stupid cops or lack of training or anything else. It's the family's fault.
Based on the frequency.
No, they were stupid for calling the cops, I will say that. Or they did it on purpose.
Of times in which law enforcement had to be involved for Ryan's family's sake and Ryan's sake prior to the shooting.
So it's justified. That's why we can shoot autistic kids, because you know what? We've had to go to the house a few times.
I think that's the important piece that we need to talk about here.
Yep, that's the important piece that we need to talk about here. That was inconvenient for us, like 4 or 5 times they had to get called. And yeah, that's inconvenient as hell. I mean, after the 4th, 5th time, you just shoot the kid. You just unlife him, you know?
The sheriff says authorities had gone to the home 5 times in the past because of issues involving that teenager.
And so they knew the boy. They knew him well.
The shooting remains an ongoing investigation.
And
San Bernardino.
It's going to be called a good shoot. They're going to say that it was perfectly fine, that there was no problem with it. Here's another blurb on it. Here's a different one. Let's see. Autistic boy's father testifies in murder trial. Officers say they acted in self-defense. Now, this stuff's...
And the moment officers realized there was a boy in the car.
I never saw a kid in the car.
6-year-old Jeremy Martist, who is autistic, died in the front seat, shot 4 times. His father, Chris Few, was critically wounded. Speaking publicly about that night for the first time today, Mr. Few told the jury officers gave no warning before they opened fire. I had my hands in the air, Few testified. I put my hands out the window. They kept shooting. Several witnesses also told the jury Mr. Few had his hands up, which body camera footage appears to confirm. But Officer Derek Stafford's attorney says he and his partner acted in self-defense after a 2-mile pursuit.
He negligently and intentionally reversed his vehicle in an attempt to hit the officers.
Few admitted to drinking that night, but told the jury he would never hit an officer and only wanted to get his son to a caretaker so the boy wouldn't be involved in a possible arrest. The prosecution argues nothing Few did that night justified the deadly response.
Derek Stafford is on trial, and it's just a shame that they want to put the victim on trial.
Stafford and Officer Norris Greenhouse, who also fired shots at the scene.
See, this is just more and more of just excessive force.
And will be tried separately, have pleaded not guilty. The trial continues on Wednesday.
Yeah, here's a 13-year-old.
Police in Salt Lake City are coming under scrutiny after an officer shot a 13-year-old boy with autism spectrum disorder after he did not comply with demands to get on the ground.
I don't feel good.
Lyndon Cameron could be heard in the video saying he didn't feel good after 11 shots were fired, some of which struck him. He was taken to a...
Some of which they can't even shoot. They can't even shoot an unarmed autistic kid. They can't even
local
do that right.
Hospital where he's recovering. The mayor of Salt Lake City called for the investigation into the officer's actions to move quickly.
Knock it off!
I am profoundly heartbroken.
So they know that they're chasing after a kid. I was a peace officer for 15 years. I'm also autistic. So, yeah, I've seen both sides of this. And the peace officers are taught, your street cops, that if anybody's acting weird, whatever that is, not right, they are on drugs, they are homicidal maniacs that want to murder cops. And they are all armed. Magically, they just, stuff appear. And so they go to work with that attitude. Now, they'll say, oh, well, we don't teach them that. That's not in any classes. No, it's the culture. It's definitely what they are taught. It may not be specifically expressed in that form, but it is definitely the culture and what's taught. Absolutely. And that's why we have so many of these incidents.
And I am frustrated. This shooting is another tragedy. It's a tragedy for this young boy, for his mother, and for families and individuals who have acute mental health needs.
The incident began when Cameron's mother called 911 asking for...
See, once again, it's if there's an autistic person involved, the mother called 911
for help for her son, whom she said needed to go to a hospital because he was having a violent episode.
And if you call the police with an autistic person involved, you should expect them to be unlived by the police. You should expect the police to murder them right there in the street. That's what your expectation should be.
She also told the dispatcher that her son didn't trust the police and that he may have access to a gun, but she wasn't sure if it was real.
Oh my God. Yeah, she must have wanted him to die.
Does he have access to a gun?
No, not that I believe. Well, I don't know, honestly.
Stop! Get on the ground! Knock it off!
Body cam footage appears to show Cameron running from police when they spot him and call...
So they've got a kid running
for him to stop. The Salt Lake City police chief says he believes the city should have more resources to deal.
It doesn't matter if the kid was autistic or not. You're just gonna like a 14, 15-year-old boy. You see, he's running off. So you're just gonna shoot him.
With calls for help with mental health.
Make no mistake, this is a crisis. As a police department, we want to be partners with those who provide mental health services. As a community, we need to find a way forward. Too often our officers are called to deal with these difficult problems, which frequently are not criminal in nature.
A GoFundMe campaign to help Cameron's family pay for his medical bills has already exceeded its goal of $100,000. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
So yeah, this was about the time I discovered that I was autistic, that happened. Oh yeah. Here's a nice one. Once again, same thing, over and over and over. This is The Guardian. I mean, this is a daily thing. This is a common thing. This is something that happens. Okay, here's a little... This guy, and yeah.
Hey, this is Chicago Police Officer.
And he wasn't even on duty at the time.
Muhammad, I got a person down. I need police. I need an ambulance. I'm behind Morgan Park High School. I'm a sergeant of police. I need an ambulance right now. What happened? The guy pulled like he was about to pull a gun on me, walked up to the car, and I had to shoot.
Bullshit. And that's what you get. They come up with all kinds of stuff. It's just amazing to me. Just amazing. But yeah, I remember that one. Here's a nice one. This kid, I was 11 years old? 9-year-old. This is 6 years ago, so this is an older one.
Kid sobs as he is placed in handcuffs at his...
But this is still happening all the time, every day. It's not necessarily always making the news like this one did. This one got lots of publicity, thankfully.
Elementary school. Cops were called after fourth grader Devin Shepard got into a fight with a classmate during recess. When a teacher intervened, Devin hit the teacher.
Do you think your pockets or anything, buddy? Do you need mom and dad? No.
The boy's father is recording the heartbreaking scene. The footage is a little shaky because he's trembling with anger.
Devin, just chill out, buddy. You're leaving with me. Promise you.
Any questions or anything, guys?
Nope.
Okay, you want my name? You're recording my name.
Oh, believe me, there's all kinds of questions. What kind of person could do that? That little kid's terrified, has no idea what's going on, and he's autistic, and he's got his hands all over that autistic kid. Look at him. He cannot keep his damn hands off of that autistic kid. Ugh. What a creeper.
I'm recording you. I ain't worried about my attorney be contacting you. I'll get the report tomorrow morning. Love you, buddy. I'll be right there.
Little Devin can't stop crying as he's led out of Needham Elementary School in Franklin, Indiana.
Can't keep their hands off of them. Like, is that really necessary?
Today, Devin's parents, Ronnie and Melissa Shepard, are speaking out.
That video, very hard to watch, very difficult to hear your son crying.
It was very disturbing. I knew I kept my cool because I was out of school.
Devin says the fight on the school playground was triggered after his classmates started bullying him. Devin, who is autistic, was charged with battery and criminal mischief. The local police department says...
Now, luckily for me, I never was charged with anything, but I was bullied a lot. And, yeah, I would take the little... I'd take them out. I definitely would take him out, and I definitely got in trouble for that. No doubt about it.
In a statement, officers involved followed both department and juvenile arrest protocol. But Devin's family says they went too far.
Any questions or anything, guys?
Well, the charges against the child were dropped. The school has now said in a statement that their faculty handled the situation calmly and with compassion.
Yeah, that's calmly and with compassion. That's it. Yeah, really. That's what they call compassion. Oh, boy. Crazy. I don't know what this one is. Okay.
Step it up!
Eustis Police released this body cam video.
And notice this is not a white kid either. Most of these are actually black autistic men. Most of them, if I remember right. Most of these encounters.
Video, so you can see...
Which is by no means, I mean, that's crazy.
their side of the story.
You had the perfect storm.
The mother of Louis Greha agreed to go on camera so she could tell her son's side of the story.
He don't know what y'all talking about, what y'all doing to him. Please get off him.
The story starts Saturday afternoon in a Eustis neighborhood. Police get a call, burglary in progress. The woman is scared, says a man she did not know approached her, then allegedly tried to break into her house.
I don't know if he was slamming it or but I heard.
And this Karen right here was making crap up. They found out that she was just making crap up.
The knob on the door shaking.
Eustis police quickly find the man they're looking for. They yell multiple commands, and all they know is he's ignoring every one of them.
Get on your stomach, dude. Get on your stomach. I don't want to do it again.
What they don't know is that 20-year-old Louis Greha is a man diagnosed with severe autism, cannot.
And these, the mom had let the police know that he was there, and they had contact with him frequently. So they're bullshitting there. I was a peace officer for 15 years. They're full of shit.
Speak. According to his family, he has the mental capacity of a 4-year-old. He's over 6 feet tall and wears diapers.
Everybody loves Luke. He's lovable.
Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Louis normally does not wander far from home, but on this day he did. Police tase him. He barely reacts. They tase him again. There's confusion.
Put your hands behind your back.
Then more confusion when the family gets to the scene.
Okay, we got a call about him breaking into someone's house. Oh. So that's where we're at right now.
And I see my baby on the ground with one taser in the back.
And see the cop... He said breaking into someone's house. He transposed with that Karen. She said that someone was shaking her door, which was a lie. They found out later. But he turned that into this person, this specific person, was breaking into the house.
To his neck.
Eustis Police Chief Craig Capri says his officers were doing the best they could with the information they had.
The escalation was used here based on the knowledge they had at the time.
Yeah, tase them, ask questions later.
Had they known this was a severely autistic person, I doubt any force would have been used.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
I think they did everything right.
Obviously, they did everything right.
Could have been a lot worse. Thank God it wasn't.
Oh! It could have been worse. So his officers could have been worse than that.
But Lou's mom
No, he was trying to say that the officers could have used much more force, but they didn't.
Agrees.
Which is actually true. They could have just killed him. They were restrained by only tasing him.
Police did everything wrong. Says her son's got neck damage, ear damage. One taser lodged behind his ear.
He can't even holler out, cry, or tell you you hurting him.
One story, 2 sides. A glimpse into what police departments deal with.
That he was there they had him cuffed up like that for like an hour and a half. And they knew that entire time that he was not that person. Yeah, this got bad. They're like right here. It looks like they're doing, a great thing. But notice the ambulance is there. Yeah, he'd been sitting there for a long time.
And a glimpse into the heart of a mother and her worst fear.
Boy, they sure did. Like, I hate it when they try to make it into a soap. All right, so yeah, I was a peace officer for 15 years, and I am autistic, and this is concerning what's this?
County Sheriff is speaking out for the first time tonight after deputies shot and killed a teenage boy over the weekend. Sheriff's deputies were called to a home on Saturday.
Notice this guy is black.
Where a family had phoned authorities about 15-year-old Ryan Gaynor, who was attacking members of the household. The family's attorney says Authorities were aware the teen had autism. When sheriff's deputies showed up, they say the boy
They've been there over 5 times before.
attacked them with a 5-foot-long gardening tool. Deputies opened fire on that teen and killed him.
So a 15-year-old boy, I think he was 15. Is that how old he was? Yeah, that they know is autistic, has a garden tool. And they murder him for that.
Plenty of
We could have hurt us. Yeah, they've got on body armor, literal body armor, and they're. I mean, they couldn't have tased him. I mean, those are 2 big dudes. They couldn't have just tackled his ass if they needed to. Nope.
times to offer
And
him
he's going to sit here and justify it.
Ryan and get him the health care and mental health care that he needed. And in my opinion, based on the frequency of times in which law enforcement had to be involved.
Oh, no, we had to be involved. Oh, there's a domestic and we had to be involved. So we just went there and killed him. No more problems.
For Ryan's family's sake and Ryan's sake prior to the shooting, I think that's the important piece that we need to talk.
The important piece is that you guys knew that this 15-year-old boy was autistic, and you went and killed him. You just went and freaking murdered him. Yeah, I mean, you knew. You'd been there at least 5 times. You knew what was going on. Okay, this is a different story. Let's see. This is from 3 years ago.
Released a video of a confrontation that led to the firing of an officer and then investigation by
Now, this is very rare that an officer ever gets even reprimanded for dealing with an autistic person.
the prosecutor's office.
Officers were trying to arrest an autistic man suspected in an armed robbery. Grant Herms has the video and what the police chief is
And why, the way they put it, he was suspected in an armed robbery.
saying tonight.
While the arrest and the officers' firing happened weeks ago,
The guy was in the parking lot.
investigation is still ongoing, but the Westland Police Department releasing this video today saying they want to be as transparent as possible. And a word of warning, this video is disturbing.
According to Westland Police, on January 16th, officers responded to a call from an Arby's after a man implied he had a gun and stole money from the restaurant before running off. Officers eventually catching up to him at a nearby apartment complex.
I got him running right here, radio. I got him on foot.
Dash camera video showing the officer chasing the man, weapon drawn.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
When officers catch the man, body camera video captures the struggle during the arrest. One officer using a stun gun, which didn't work.
Get on the ground!
It was then, as officers screamed profanities at the man on the ground, Officer Christopher Landis can be seen using a baton on his head, severely injuring the 23-year-old autistic man's eye. Just before, one of the officers can be heard yelling, "Don't effing hit him."
Stop resisting! Don't hit him! Now!
In later video, the 23-year-old asking for help, visibly bloody.
Don't you spit! Don't you spit!
Got his hand on his throat.
Landis, who had been on the force since 2017, was placed on administrative leave.
Oh, geez, a white guy. Big, fat white guy.
And later fired. The victim's name is not being released for their privacy. In a statement, Westland Police Chief Jess Drudusik said in part, "We are dedicated to the department's policies, training."
Oh, it's within our policy. It's okay. They murdered a guy here 2 years ago who was sitting waiting for his brother to get out of middle school. And they walked up to the car, dragged his ass out, and killed him. Just like that. That was it. The reason? No reason. Yeah. So training curriculum, maintain our community trust. Oh,
In curriculum and to maintaining our community's trust. When we learn of incidents that do not meet these standards, we will continue to take appropriate action.
Landis also had a DUI on his record from 2013 where he hit a...
appropriate action for police is covering stuff up whenever possible. That's definitely what they do. And I was a peace officer for 15 years.
The grandmother of an autistic student who was
that.
strangled has spoken about how police failed her grandson. Margaret Palmer claims the police did not take 21-year-old Adrian seriously because of his condition. Her concerns are echoed in a survey released exclusively to Channel 4 News. The poll of almost 800 people with autism and their carers found more than half of those who had reported crimes rated
I bet you
their treatment by police as poor. Asha Tanner has been hearing their experience.
I thought she was going to say that more than half of them said they've been brutalized by police.
It's
dangerous. It's very, very dangerous to have any kind of contact with the police as an autistic person. No matter what, when they show up, things can go very, very bad very, very quickly. And no matter what, the autistic person is going to lose, and that cop's going to walk away a murderer, but they're just, they won't get charged with anything. They won't even, they'll just say that it was within policy. It's within policy to kill people, And what I'm saying, the reason I keep on saying this within policy thing, because that gets conflated with the law. And when police chiefs say, well, it was within policy, that has nothing to do with the law. With what the actual law is. That has nothing to do with that. But a lot of times, DAs or whatever will just accept that, well, it was within policy as if it was the law. It's really weird. And unless somebody presses it, it will just be blown off. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay, no, I'm not.
It's very easy.
I am not going to do a long, drawn-out sob story here.
We navigated a turbulent...
All right.
I seen her earlier, walking this way, but she doesn't want to talk to me, so I can't make her.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to ask her.
It's like she's walking in the traffic, though.
Yeah, she's jailwalk. She now come again here. I have no idea what's wrong. She having a mentally problem? Or
I think that's what it might be.
On her and she not ignore you? I don't know what's going on.
I'll see if she'll come back over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this must be the cop's body cam. So she suspects that there's a mental issue going on here. Let's see what she does.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
This gal's just minding her own business. This cop's gonna go make a scene. And
ma'am.
See, there's no reason for her to be approached.
Single point. What's going on with her? She's kind of like running into traffic. Where does she live?
I have no idea, but I think I can get in touch with her
mom. So she has not been accused of any crime, not suspected of committing any crime. It sounds like confusion as to whether she was or was not in the street, but she could have been crossing the street. Who knows? I don't know. But it's going to go bad. I can guarantee it. It's probably going to be once this cop gets involved.
Yeah, but I can't have her just,
I mean, you just call her to like, come over here and talk to me. I'm not like that.
Yeah, she can't be over here causing public disturbance.
And so a gal walking through a parking lot is a public disturbance. See, this cop is fishing right now. She's trying to look for a reason. She's coming up with an excuse to go assault this girl.
But you have no right to talk to her?
I can't make her talk, but I can get her for trying to get her for disorderly because she's on the premise.
Because she's on the premises. I'm going to give her a disorderly conduct. Wow. She doesn't even talk to the gal. Is that not unbelievable?
I gotta make sure she don't try to do anything else. Keep eyes on her.
She's just trying to make crap up. That's horrible. And they will. They'll make it stick in their writing. In the DAC, they tell them how to write the stuff. They teach you how to, quote, write reports so that they stick. Okay, that is a normal thing. All right, so but she has not committed a crime at all.
Can you tell me what's going on? Because I seen you walking earlier.
Nothing. Basically, she's like, nothing, leave me alone. And now this cop's not going to do that. In fact, she's going to harass this woman. Oh, she's calling her. This cop's going to do everything in her power to make something happen so she can screw with this autistic lady.
Where do you live? Can I take you home?
She has no reason to be asking her any questions, and this girl, she shouldn't be answering her or talking to this cop at all. And no matter what, it's going to be bad. It's going to turn out bad.
What's her first and last name?
Okay, see, now this cop's starting to ask her questions. She doesn't have to give her her first and last name, but this autistic lady's not going to know that. And she is probably going to give it because she's scared and intimidated by this person who has a gun and a badge. She probably thinks that she has to do what this cop says. And with everything she says, like even if she said, I don't want to, she'd call it resisting or something when she has the full right to do that, of course.
Okay. Where are you from?
Okay, yeah, she said, where are you from? None of your damn business. And that it is none of her damn business. And that's going to piss off the cop. That's going to get to that cop's ego. And now she's going to pounce.
Oh, you know my name, Jeffrey Carter, that's why Newbert. The hell?
You want to ride there? Alright, well, they don't want you here on the premise. Alright, well, you're going to have to find somewhere else to go.
What? They don't want you on the premises. They didn't trespass her. They did not say that they wanted her trespassed. So she is just lying. She's making up bullshit.
I wasn't even on.
I was a peace officer for 15 years. I'm autistic. I've seen both sides of this.
I was walking to my house.
Where's your house? You want me to drop you off over there?
No, I'm good.
I'm actually surprised that cop was offered to drop her off. I wouldn't trust her, but wow. It sounds like she's actually trying to be nice.
I know. I'm good friends with Miss Marie.
What is her mom saying?
She don't know me and she don't know my mom and she think my name is Kaylee. That's not my name.
I'm sorry, but I do know your mom.
No, you don't know my mom.
I do know your mom, and I know you.
You don't.
Yeah, I do.
Are you,
Christina Henry's not my mother.
Okay.
I'm adopted, smartass.
Are you on any kind of medicine?
No, I'm not.
See, that's That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Are you on any kind of medicine?
No medicine, you know?
I mean, I can try to get in touch with your mom.
Not my mother.
And who's your mom?
None of your business. Like, I don't know you.
I know you don't know me, but I know you.
No, you don't.
What area? She said she lives in Newbern.
Yep, I do. The hell?
Were you dropped off by somebody, or you just walked up this way?
These stupid ass people want to drop me off with someone who ain't even my mom. Like the hell?
Well, she don't want to talk to me, and I can't force her.
Yep, that's correct. You can't force her. Just leave her alone.
Oh, what's your first name? God, I don't. That's the second time I've asked you your name, and you're still not cooperating with me.
See, they cooperating. She uses the word cooperate. You're not cooperating. That's a Fourth Amendment right. You don't have to give up that information. Personal search and seizures. No, you do not have. This is not a fascist state where we can have to present our papers on the streets. But that cop's trying to frame it as if she's doing something wrong, or it'll be illegal or something, maybe. Here. So if I don't violate your rights, you're not cooperating with me, is what she's saying.
Speaking Devin.
And that's how they roll. All right. What happened to my sound?
Well, I'm waiting.
I'm supposed to be picking you up.
The only thing is, it's hard to tell how old this lady is.
I'm gonna just go ahead and leave.
Tell if she's a young woman or if she's a child. Or she looks pretty young.
She can call me the fake mom. I don't care. That's not even.
How old are you?
I just told you I'm 18. How many times I gotta tell you that?
How many times I asked? How many ever times I asked? I asked for a name, you still ain't gave that to me.
I'm sorry. I'm sure.
So what's
I don't care. This cannot continue. You're not my mom, so leave me the hell alone. I told you you ain't in my life. Leave me the alone.
So where is she living at?
No,
What's supposed to be?
No, I don't live with you, bitch.
You,
I told you I was
moving
out
stay?
yesterday.
You need to stop.
And I'm gonna need
right
you to get
now.
your hands on my face.
You need to calm down.
Don't put your hands in my face.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
Stop.
And I'm gonna need
right
you to get
now.
your hands on my
I don't blame her.
You need to calm down.
That was pretty defensive.
Don't put your hands in my face.
Now that cop could have just took her down if she wanted to. She could have called that assault, and she could have used that as an excuse. So kudos on her for not immediately assaulting the girl. That's actually very rare to see any kind of restraint. In fact, I don't even remember seeing any restraint.
Put the phone up. Put the phone somewhere. Put the phone somewhere.
Don't put your hands on me, bro.
Now she wouldn't put hands on her for no fucking reason. For no fucking reason. She just decided that she's going to put hands on her.
Put your hand right back.
$2.95.
Put your hand right back. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Look, I'm at you.
Don't touch me, bro.
Look. I'm gonna roll you over.
They got their hands all over. Of course she's going to be...
Gonna hurt yourself.
Stand up.
Can you get your hands on me?
Stand up.
See, she's begging him to get his hands off of her.
Don't like me touching me, bro.
All right, stand up there.
Get off me, bro.
Well, that ain't my problem.
Yeah, it ain't his problem. It ain't his problem. He don't give a fuck.
Little more, I got a little more with you. 955.
There's no reason to go hands on.
Get off of me, okay?
And that's what that cop's going to go with. That was an assault or whatever. And even though that had been completely de-escalated and was gone, doesn't matter. That's going to be their excuse now to use force and be violent and to be.
All right, let's go.
Come on. You gonna walk or we're gonna carry you? Come on. You got to put your phone up, please.
No, don't touch it! Off of me! Get off of me! Get off of me!
Whenever the cops get involved, it always goes bad for the autistic person. That is always, always the case. And like I said, if someone calls the police and there's an autistic person involved, expect the police to murder the autistic person. Yes, I said murder. They will, because the thing is when they show up, they say, well, I felt threatened or whatever. But if it was just any other person, they couldn't have shot him dead. But because they're a cop and they got a badge on, they can just say, well, I was scared, and they can just shoot whoever the hell they want to. I was peace officer for 15 years. That's justified. That's called a good shoot.
Please. Okay. And you said. I know, but I don't want him to hurt anybody, okay? He's not hurting anybody.
See, the thing is this guy's not doing the damn I can guarantee you. See, it wasn't violent. The kid was just there, whatever. And this cop decides that he's going to save them and make sure he doesn't hurt him. So he causes the problem. And particularly with an autistic person, the first thing you do is you don't go trying to freaking restrain us. That's the worst thing you can do, particularly with us PDA autistics.
Back up. I know. Hey, what is going on? Hey, what is going on? Hey, bro. Stop it. Hey, I know the autism. He has epilepsy.
He has epilepsy, he has autism, but this cop isn't going to give a fuck.
You need to put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Stop.
He doesn't care. He's out for the kill. He does not give a shit. He's going to show that some bitch what's going on. He's going to show him who's boss. I've worked with these people for 15 years. At least 90% of the cops are there for power and control. They are there to do this, to be assholes like this.
Put your hands behind your back. Yes. Let's get him outside. Back up, back up, back up.
No, he doesn't like assess the scene or anything. He just goes and tries to use force. And he knows the kid's autistic. He knows that this is the family. The family probably knows what to do best. But no, he's going to go hands-on, and he's going to be a piece of shit.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Oh, I'm sure they cut that out.
Back up, back up, back up. Back up. Let's go this way. Why am I going to jail? You're not going to jail. We're going to get you help in an ambulance.
Yeah, but there's no reason for you to put me in handcuffs.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no reason to put him in handcuffs. What law did he break? He was having a fucking seizure.
Oh, listen, give me a good reason. Take him out,
By the way, I had epilepsy too.
I know. I'm not hurting no one. I'm only hurting my damn self. Get inside the car. No. I'm not getting inside your damn car. Take this shit off. Take that shit off, bro. My leg. Ah, what the? Ah! Hitting his head.
Yeah, you could hear his head freaking hitting the damn car. And this is how this cop is helping the situation. This is how this cop is making it better.
No. Back up. Back up.
He's hitting his head. He's gonna
Go to that side. Okay, he's having a seizure. Let's bring him aside. Bring him aside, okay? Cover position, we're fine. Okay, we have an ambulance on the way. You're not
There's zero reason for him to be cuffed up. This is
going to jail. He will not go to jail. Well, take him off. We cannot do that.
Why? Yeah, you can. You didn't have to put him on in the first place, dumbass.
I'm not hurting no one.
He can take those off any damn time he wants to.
Hurting myself, but I don't know how to control it. I know. Okay. Please.
I don't know how long ago this was, but I'm sure that the police department decided that he was perfect last 4 years ago. I'm sure the police department decided that they were, doing perfectly fine.
A disturbing video of a 14-year-old boy with autism tased by police in his own backyard. The family calling it a case of mistaken identity. An officer can be heard questioning if they have the right...
Nope, there was no mistaken identity. That was a little black kid. There's no mistakes about that identity.
person. Alex Perez with the police video tonight, and we warn, it is
This is what, the third, fourth time I've mentioned this? Fifth time, sixth time?
disturbing.
Tonight, parents outraged after they say their teenage son with autism was mistaken for a suspect and tased by police outside Chicago. Body camera video obtained by our station.
He's just in his backyard, chilling out. Fuck me.
And WLS showing officers apprehending 14-year-old Avarius Thompson last November.
Get your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Sit down!
Thompson's family says he was returning home from getting snacks at the grocery store when he was tased multiple times in their own backyard.
Don't move! You move, you gotta get some more!
Dalton, Illinois police say they were called to assist neighboring...
He's a badass police officer. That's the thing. Being autistic, I never was like that. I never had those power and control issues, but most peace officers, 90%, that means only 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 10, should be in the department. The rest of all of them are all power and control people who are there to abuse people, are there because they've got the badge and all that stuff.
Riverdale police who were searching for 4 suspects, 2 carrying rifles and a handgun. Thompson's clothes, quote, matching the description.
Matching the description. It matched the description. But they never tell you what the description is. Why? Because it doesn't fucking match. They always match the description. And they'll put that on reports and stuff like that. It matched the description. But they will never ever say what the description was. And there is a reason for that, because it doesn't match.
Don't move!
But in the video, one officer questions whether they have the right person.
I don't think that's him, bro. This might not be him.
Thompson hospitalized with tase marks on his body and a fractured hip. His mother frantic.
He's autistic!
The family's attorney says the teenager was never charged.
He's just a lovable kid, and I couldn't believe that this could happen.
Or apologize to, I'm sure.
To my kid.
And David, the Riverdale police chief said suspects were ultimately arrested and...
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we did to the autistic kid. We got the bad guys. Wow.
Charged. In a statement, the city of Dalton says the incident is under investigation.
It's going to be under investigation, and then they're going to try to bury it, and the family probably never got any compensation.
Charles Kinsey is lying on the ground, hands in the
Okay,
air.
I looked at
Police
this one
are out of
earlier.
sight, pointing their guns. You can hear.
Now this
Hands
one
behind your back. I'm sorry.
A young man with special needs violently taken to the ground. Police then use a stun gun on him, all for throwing rocks into a neighbor's yard. Good evening. I'm John McKay.
I'm Cynthia Isaguirre. Thank you for joining us. We first told you about this case in Young County last week. Now we're seeing the disturbing police body cam footage. Here's Todd Unger.
Care if I search you? No.
You're looking at 19-year-old Mike.
Okay, and that's care if I search you. That question there is constructed in very specifically in that way, because if he says no, oh well, no, he didn't care if I searched him. If he says yes, well, he said it's okay if I searched him. Any way he can, the officer can take that any way he wants to, and do anything he wants to. Then he can reach for him, and if this person reacts in any way, he'll say, well, he gave me consent, and then all of a sudden I went towards him and he jumped at me. Yeah, that's all constructed bullshit.
Michael Moore.
What's going on? I'm okay.
He's autistic and
Let's see if this happens here. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that
about to have an encounter with Graham police take a very bad turn.
Yeah. Where do you live at, Mr. Moore? Right here.
Moore is being questioned in his own.
And see, the thing is this cop shouldn't be questioning him.
Backyard 2 weeks ago after a neighbor called 911 to report a man tossing rocks into their yard.
The police pulled up and he waved at me and I ran out to them and asked me, do you live here? And I said yes.
We first sat down with Michael and his mom last week. Police don't know he's autistic when they arrive, thinking instead he's high or drunk. The body.
And like I will say time and again, no matter what, they are trained. If you act different, then you are stoned out of your mind. And look, he's trying to do like some kind of sobriety thing because he thinks he's an expert, because he's been told that he is an expert, because he went to their 1 week training on assessing if people are drugged up. And so he's going to do his little things there and everything. And he's going to decide that this guy is a drug crazed maniac that is out to kill him, because this is what they are trained to do.
Body camera footage shows him becoming visibly confused.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing this shit to me? And he shouldn't be consenting to that, because no autistic person is ever going to pass a sobriety test. Well, actually, I have, but nonetheless, it's extremely difficult, and the cops can fuck it up themselves by giving wrong instructions like they did to me one time. They told me to plant my foot and turn it. I was like, I can't plant it and pivot because my foot would be planted, so I couldn't pivot. And then they decided I was drunk because the guy gave bad instructions. But I was trying to figure out what the hell he wanted me to do. Because he gave conflicting directions. And because he gave conflicting directions, he decided that I was drunk when he was just an idiot.
Your eyes and your eyes only. Keep your arms at your side.
This guy's going to go hands-on, I can tell.
After a couple minutes, things escalate when officers decide to put handcuffs on Michael.
Put your hands behind your back.
For what reason? Zero reason. Zero reason. What crime has he committed? Do they know that he is the one that supposedly threw rocks? Is throwing a rock from one yard to the other a crime? What? Come on.
Michael is taken to the ground and stunned twice by a taser.
See, zero reason for this. Zero reason. He was standing there talking to him just fine.
Throughout the takedown, the young man repeatedly yells for his mother, who's just out of earshot in the front of the house.
This is my child, and you have put your hands on him and you have hurt him.
When word of this first got out, the police department's Facebook page was inundated with hundreds, if not thousands, of comments. Today, they are still standing behind these officers.
They're still standing. See, they always stand behind the officers. It's always a good shoot. I've said that all the way through these things. I didn't review these. I just put like police brutality, autism, stuff like that for keywords. Oh, hi, Pink. Yeah, I was a peace officer for 15 years, and in response to this guy that was just killed, in San Bernardino County. The 15-year-old kid. Of course, it was a black kid. Watch this. Yes.
Boy over the weekend. Sheriff's deputies were called to a home on Saturday where a family had phoned authorities about 15-year-old Ryan Gaynor, who was attacking members of the house.
Yep, a black 15-year-old boy that they murdered. And I'll use that word. I don't give a crap. They had been to his house 5 times. They knew who he was. They knew all about him. And they've got on body armor. And I guess they said a lawn implement, maybe a rake or something. Like 2 big dudes could not take down a 15-year-old boy with a rake in his hand. Instead, they just had to murder him. Because actually, the sheriff here makes it pretty clear they just got tired of dealing with him. He just kept on, bothering them. Watch this sheriff. This is crazy what this sheriff says. It's really
the family's attorney says authorities were aware the teen had autism. When sheriff's deputies showed up, they say the boy attacked them with a
He's running away and shooting. What a piece of crap. He's got on a vest, too. And that is a fan rake. Come on.
5-foot-long gardening tool. Deputies opened.
Do you notice how they put gardening tool? And that's another thing. So that it might be mistaken for like a Maddox or something like that. It was a fan rake. Come on. And they do that. That's they were purposely being manipulative here. With that, calling it a gardening implement.
Opened fire on that teen and killed him.
Plenty of times to off-ramp Ryan and get him the health care.
See, it's the parents' fault. They did not get him the health care that he needed. And he bothered us 4 times. TikTok's okay. Yeah, listen to this guy whine.
And mental health care that he needed. And in my opinion, based on the frequency of times in which
now he's going to say that it's justified that we did that we killed him.
Law enforcement had to be involved for Ryan's family's sake and Ryan's sake prior to the shooting. I think that's the important
piece
that we need to talk about here.
That's the important piece that we need to talk about there, that they had been there more than once. So he is pissed off that they had to go see this kid more than once. So they're like, fuck it, we'll just go shoot him.
The sheriff says authorities had gone to the home 5 times in the past because of issues involving that teenager. The shooting remains.
And so that's why he's like, well, you know what? We just shot him. We got tired of dealing with it.
An ongoing investigation.
It's an ongoing investigation. An ongoing them trying to cover their ass. That's what it's going to be. Let's see. What is this? Anyway, I was a peace officer for 15 years. And so
hoping a
autistic,
training that their officers
gives me an idea what's going on here.
Recently went through will help them in the community.
Yeah, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? These cops are so these cops are so involved and so in tune with the autistic community. They got puzzle pieces for their emblem.
Officers over at Blacksburg Police Department are now trained to recognize traits of autism and how to...
Oh, they're now trained to recognize traits of autism. Okay, it takes like 3 months. A family history. hours of testing, but in a 2-hour course that they get in their police academy training, they're experts on knowing what autism looks like.
How to approach people with autism. Fox Carolina's Zach Perlowski explains how a sticker is the next step for the police department when it comes to putting that training into action.
He joins us live in studio with the story. How's the sticker work?
Well, anyone who lives in the town of Blacksburg can pick up one of these stickers at the police department, and when a police officer sees one out, whether they're on a call or a traffic stop, it will tell them that there may be a person with autism inside.
Which can be dangerous as hell. Because now, like I've seen autism cards and so forth, now what the cops can say is, well, yeah, we knew that this was potentially dangerous situation before we went in there. We knew they were autistic. Now they have justification to murder anyone in the house for any reason, because there might have been an autistic person that might have been there to hurt them. That's literally what they can say and do with that. Just food for thought. That's literally, and if it hasn't already happened, it will happen, guaranteed.
And they'll know how to respond. At the Blacksburg Police Department,
we want to be there for.
So they think they're experts, so they are going to know how to respond. They're going to respond like it's a drug addict, and like that drug addict is trying to kill them.
All the members of our community.
All the officers just went through a specialized training on how to handle situations involving people diagnosed with autism. Through the training, officers now know people with autism may hesitate answering questions or avoid eye contact.
It's not uncommon to have to repeat yourself or phrase questions differently or try to be more literal when you ask.
Or repeat yourself.
For things.
The department wanted to create a sticker that would help them know when they might
She had a thick southern accent.
Come across someone with autism. Officer Shauna Blanton was having trouble coming up with the design, so she reached out to the social media marketing class at the Institute of Innovation in Cherokee County.
Yeah, instead of like reaching out to, like, I don't know, an autistic person. They reach out to some random art department. Really?
Giving back to the community itself.
Ben Fuller teaches the class with 12 students.
And so they come up with all of what would instantly piss anyone off from the autistic community.
Traced out.
3 of those students led the charge, finishing the project in a couple of weeks.
Blacksburg at the top, the logo in the middle, the puzzle piece in the back, and then that just kind of encapsulated everyone's ideas.
The finished stickers are now at the police department and in the hands of some in the community.
It's nice to know that when we do see that sticker on the house or the car, you know, there's relief for the people that live there, that, you know, we're going to know right off the rip, like, how to approach this and how to actually help.
And so far, the department has given out about 15 of these stickers to the community. They are free.
So, yeah,
video
back
from
to the
Apple.
story here. So, basically what I'm talking about today, I'm going to go back to this story. Again, because I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. Always know that if you call the cops, if the cops get involved and there's an autistic person, that autistic person's life is in danger. Period. And it's particularly if they're a young black man, then they're really, and this kid happened to be 15 years old, black, and autistic.
Sheriff's deputy
and
opens fire on a
paid for his
15-year-old
life
suspect.
because
His family claims he has autism and was having an episode. Well, the family called law enforcement on the teen, but are saying that deputies went too far.
Now a lethal use of force investigation is underway. KTLA's Shelby Nelson is in Apple Valley with the latest.
Where's he at? Hey, get back! Get back! You're gonna get shot!
They're tense moments that only last for about 5 to 7 seconds.
See, they're there 5 to 7 seconds before they kill him. 5 to 7 seconds. And they knew this kid was autistic. They knew he was 15. They knew who he was. They'd been there 5 times already. But their solution is to murder a kid with a rake.
Once 15-year-old Ryan Gaynor comes into view on this Apple Valley deputy's.
And they call it a gardening implement. Gardening, like, or 4-foot gardening implement or something to make it sound like it's this horrible tool. Yeah, it's a freaking fan rake.
Body camera. Authorities say they received an emergency call on Saturday at around 4:48 in the afternoon. Apple Valley deputies were dispatched to a home on Iroquois Road where they say the teen was assaulting family members and damaging property.
Yes, assault and battery. Okay. Yeah. So that's your brother and
So mom is trying to get her kid killed. I mean, I don't think she could be that stupid to call and say assault and battery. I mean, she had to have expected this. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying that the kid should be able to go around and beat people up. Don't get me wrong. But you know the cops are going to overreact. Those were 2 big dudes that could have handled a little 15-year-old with the garden rake, a fan rake.
and he's assaulting your sister.
But no, they had to go straight to lethal force.
Yes. Okay. Now he's banging on the door.
The 911 call lasting for more than 5 minutes. Parts of it removed by law enforcement, seemingly.
Parts of it removed by law enforcement because it's incriminating to the law enforcement.
To not disclose addresses or personal information.
Yeah, bullshit. They've edited out what they wanted to, I'm sure.
Does he still have glass in his hand? Yes, he does.
Here's a different view from another deputy approaching the house. Authorities say Gaynor charged at a deputy with a garden tool that had a sharp-bladed end,
a sharp-bladed end.
prompting the shooting that killed the teen. The family's attorney tells KTLA Gaynor was autistic and having a mental health crisis. Police not confirming that and not confirming if they were aware of the circumstances when they arrived.
The police, the sheriff did. He said that they'd been there 5 times. They knew him.
I don't really know the family. I see the boy coming from the school bus usually on a daily basis. He walked by the front of my house and I'll wave. He usually waves back.
Here Gaynor is on a swing in video his family's attorney shared with us. The attorney saying the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is not telling the whole story.
Of course they're not. They're lying through their teeth. They're going to try to, they're only going to show that little tiny piece because that's all they can. But they're going to write their story around it. That's exactly what's going to happen.
They knew or should have known that Ryan was an individual, a teen with autism, as the Sheriff's Department had come to that residence before to give assistance. And this time they decided to depart from that training and immediately jump to lethal force.
Many now criticizing the deputy's response, saying less lethal rounds could have been used. But others believe
there was no reason to what? There's no reason.
In that split second, the response was justified.
Seeing that video, I don't know how much of a choice he had not to do what he did. A very, very, very dangerous job, and he had to go home to his family as well.
You just have to wonder, even though the law covers that for them.
He had on a full freaking body armor, I guess like a rake. And he just got to shoot a little black kid. That's all there was to it. And he's probably going to get away with it. That's what usually happens. Usually the sheriffs review it and say, well, that was